Well, speaking of more jobs, October's jobs report saw significant growth in the manufacturing industry. 32,000 jobs were added last month, and 367,000 new jobs were added for the year. The sector itself could stand to gain steam as production dipped last month. Companies, though, hoping for a solid resurgence of these blue-collar jobs, a push for more workers to join the industry. And that's what the Creators Wanted Tour is working to do. It's an interactive traveling display teaching students what it would be like to work in manufacturing. And the Creators Wanted Tour is in Chicago right now. And joining us live to talk about it is Jay Timmons. He is the president and CEO of the National Association of Manufacturers. We're excited to have you here. I love the idea of Creators Wanted because not just young people, but all of us have an inherent desire to create something.
Create, build, just new things.
Yes.
We all enjoy that.
It's in our DNA. But tell us about the two biggest misconceptions of manufacturing jobs and how you're possibly changing the narrative for some of these young employees or possible employees.
Sure, and one of those misperceptions is that it's just blue-collar jobs. It's blue-collar, it's white-collar, but we also say new-collar. And one of the reasons for that is because manufacturing jobs are modern, they're infused with technology. So we need folks with skills in technology to actually be able to do some of these really amazing jobs that are out there.
And I think for a lot of people, they think manufacturing is synonymous with assembly line, right? But as you said, there's a diversity of needs. A workforce study shows that there will be 4 million job openings by the year 2030. 4 million. But a lot of companies are having a hard time recruiting new employees and getting people to fill these positions. So what is manufacturing doing that might be a little different?
So those 4 million jobs, if we don't do something today, they will be unfilled. Today, it's 800,000 open jobs. And so what the National Association of Manufacturers and the Manufacturing Institute is doing with our Creators Wanted campaign is we are all across the country with a roadshow to show young people and their parents and others who might want to maybe transition to a new career, what great opportunities are available in manufacturing. We're doing this with an escape room concept where, where kids can actually use some skills that they may not even know they have and realize, wow, I can apply that to a manufacturing job. And then we put them in our Creators Connect database to try to make sure that we stay in touch with them and show them what jobs may be available for their future.
It's just another way to reimagine what the possibilities are for so many, as they might not really know what their career path is like. What advice do you have for some of these young people who might be a little wary or might be a little bit just unaware of what is possible?
The right word. Yeah, so, I was at Palatine High School in the Chicagoland area yesterday, and I was asked that question. And we can always talk about the important academic credentials that you need, science, technology, education, artistry, math. But I really advise kids, follow your passion. Do something that really excites you. And if you like I have a 7-year-old son, and sometimes I get a little frustrated when I give him a toy and he starts tearing it apart and then tries to put it back together. And I think, why did you do that? But then I realize, wow, he's actually trying to build something.
Yeah.
He's trying to create something.
And understand something.
And understand how something works. Yeah. And that's really what manufacturing is all about. We're about solutions. Some of the society's biggest problems, whether it's a pandemic and trying to make sure we get to the other side of it, or building new technologies or new creations for the future. It's pretty exciting.
It is exciting. I have to ask you, a couple of jobs that are out there that people might not associate with manufacturing. I know this is like a surprise, and you probably have 50,000 in your head, but could you just name a couple?
Well, they really are 50,000. But if you think of, and I would probably point you to technology. So I think a lot of folks don't realize how much technology is infused in manufacturing. There's this misperception that technology is taking jobs away. They're actually changing the nature of the jobs in manufacturing. So think about a technician that is actually helping to build and maintain robotics to make things easier for folks so that jobs are not quite as labor intensive.
Right. I know that's happening a lot in the auto industry.
Sure is.
Jay Timmons, thank you so much for joining us. And again, that Creators Wanted Tour is in Chicago right now, but you can find out more from the National Association of Manufacturers. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.